You made some fascinating comments last night on the pregame show about Jalen Hurts, because there is this great disconnect between, is a guy a good quarterback, is he a good fantasy quarterback? And I see a lot of connections and similarities between Jalen Hurts and Tua Tagovailoa, although the vibe is different. In Philly, it's like they're trying to build him up.
Yeah.
In Miami, it's like they're trying to eliminate all excuses and put it all on him. Even though as they enter year 3, and they've been kind of similar, Hurts has been better. But when you look at Hurts, explain to us why he stands out. You've got him at number 4 among all quarterbacks. Why is he where he is when you've got so many Eagles fans who still don't know what they have in Jalen Hurts?
Yeah, I mean, it's interesting. Philly fans are never happy. I mean, that's the other thing, too, right?
Winning a Super Bowl made them worse.
It did.
It's like they got a taste of crack and they want more of it now. I'm sorry to you, but I'm saying it's like they're worse now than they were before they won a Super Bowl.
Right. So for people watching, they've thrown it up on the screen here where my quarterbacks rank this year. And so, one of the things I made on air, the points I made on air, Chris Sims and I were talking about this and debating Hurts, and I said, look, you don't have to be a good NFL quarterback to be a good fantasy quarterback. I mean, right? I have Aaron Rodgers at 8. I have Tom Brady at 5 among fantasy quarterbacks, but those are two of the greatest to ever play the game and are still playing, obviously, at a very, very elite level. To answer your question about Jalen Hurts, the rushing ability. So, I mean, Jalen Hurts, and I think a lot of people have said, last year was an uneven year for Jalen Hurts from an NFL standpoint. He was the 9th best quarterback in fantasy last year. And it's because of the rushing, right? And so the fact that you get fantasy points with both your legs and your arm, this is what Hurts does. And if you look at my list, other than Rodgers and Brady, it's all guys that get points with both their arm and their legs. You've got Josh Allen, you've got Lamar Jackson, Kyler Murray, guys like that, right? And so Lamar Jackson, et cetera, and Jalen Hurts there at number 4. Here's the thing that I think people forget about Hurts. So Hurts comes into the NFL. He gets 4 games. He gets 4 games at a time when the organization was dysfunctional. I mean, so Doug Peterson is fighting with Howie Roseman. People are injured. Jalen Hurts comes in for the final 4 games of his rookie year. His best receiver is Greg Ward, AAF superstar Greg Ward, former college quarterback Greg Ward. That's his best wide receiver. Now, Greg Ward's a nice story, but come on. He's not a number 1 NFL wide receiver, and that's who Jalen Hurts is being thrown into with all this turmoil that's going on around Peterson. And obviously, 4 games later, Peterson leaves the Eagles. Okay, so and he mostly runs, but now in his last year, this is his 2nd year, he goes out and it's his 1st year under Sirianni, and people are questioning. No one questions the athleticism. They understand the legs, but with Jalen Hurts, the question is, well, what about the accuracy? And so I went back and I looked at, and I remember those were the concerns about Josh Allen. What about, we know he's got a cannon for an arm, but he's not accurate. And if you look at his 2nd season in the NFL, Josh Allen's 2nd season in the NFL, and you compare it with Jalen Hurts' 2nd season in the NFL, which we just got through, Jalen Hurts has more passing yards than Josh Allen. He's got a higher completion percentage than Josh Allen. He's got more rushing yards. He has the same number of interceptions. They both had 9 in that 2nd year, and they averaged basically the same in terms of touchdowns per game. What happened in year 3? Josh Allen got Stephon Diggs and suddenly became a lot better, right? And his completion percentage went way up, and he wound up that year as the number 1 fantasy quarterback, number 1 QB in fantasy. What happened this year? They went out and got him A.J. Brown, who, for people that aren't aware, A.J. Brown and Jalen Hurts are very good friends off the field. They have a real connection. Now they're obviously teammates. 2nd year of Devontae Smith, Dallas Goedert. You could make an argument that Jalen Hurts has better weapons around him than Josh Allen had in his 3rd year.
Yes.
And 2nd year in the system, I'm just saying that, again, he was QB9 last year and struggled. My expectation here is that you always, in fantasy, you talk about range of outcomes. Being the number 1 quarterback in fantasy is within the range of outcomes for Jalen Hurts. He's currently going as quarterback 8. I think that's too low. I'm a QB4. I'm a believer in Jalen Hurts, especially with that offensive line and that schedule. They open up with Detroit. They've got Jacksonville. Their first 4 games are pretty easy. And so I think that there's a good chance through those first 4 games, he goes 3-1, and all the Boo Birds and the Eagle talk, Philly talk radio are like, okay, we can ease up. And you sort of get into that rhythm, and now you're feeling good about yourself.
The irony here is that the weapons in the passing game give him a way to pivot toward throwing it more, which actually could diminish the appeal of Jalen Hurts as a runner. Because last year, I think Nick Sirianni, first-year head coach at the time, consciously said, look, what do we got here? We got to win some games.
Right.
The passing game isn't our strong suit. Let's redesign this. Let's reconfigure it. Let's run it more. But if they can open up the passing game, that diminishes that double threat to a certain extent. That's part of the risk.
A little bit, I think, but two things. Number one is still think, if you watch those games, there's sometimes that, again, Hurts as a inexperienced quarterback in the pros, sometimes he'll take off and run, right? When he doesn't see something there, a lot of quarterbacks maybe throw it away. Hurts is a guy that will take off and run and often make it work. So I think there's that. And there's also, being mobile like that allows you to open up the passing game, because a lot of times now you got to keep a spy linebacker on Hurts and everything like that. So, I think I think Sirianni's a good coach, and I think they will add to that playbook. But again, if you look at sort of my top, 10 quarterbacks, a lot of the guys that are the elite fantasy quarterbacks, you can point that. Same with Lamar Jackson, same with Kyler Murray, right? Same with Josh Allen, right? And so on and on and on and on.
You've got Lamar Jackson at number 6. How hard is it to evaluate him, given the injury last year, given the periodic he's not able to practice or play because of some sort of a stomach ailment? He doesn't have a contract with the team. It's going to be awkward potentially. I don't believe he's going to sign a contract before the start of the season. I think there's a chance he never signs another contract with the Baltimore Ravens. How much does that kind of stuff, because I know it's very analytics-based and it's equations and it's formulas, range of outcomes, how do you take those uncertainties, availability questions, and turn that into something that gives you a number that you can assess as to where a guy should be?
You try to just basically focus on what you do know, right? And so for me, in the case of Lamar Jackson, the contract stuff, he's going to ball out. He's going to play this year for the Baltimore Ravens. And so if there's any off-the-field distractions, you can't really focus on that. The injury thing is interesting, as is what I more look for is okay, so last year the Ravens were 9th in pass attempts. They're the 9th most pass attempts. And so this year, but they let Marquise Brown go, and they don't do anything major at pass catcher in either the draft or free agency. I know they're very high on Rashad Bateman. Mark Andrews came off for a career year last year. But that's pretty much it. The rest of them are a bunch of guys that we'll see if somebody else emerges. But in terms of the bolstering of the offensive line, they're getting J.K. Dobbins and Gus Edwards back. Remember last year, both guys tore their ACLs in preseason. We talked about once again, same thing. This is why you hold your draft as close as possible, because J.K. Dobbins and Gus Edwards were both very popular picks last year in fantasy, especially Dobbins. And so the expectation is that they get back to their running ways, because last year they were, they had street free agents. They lost Ronnie Staley in the preseason as well. So they sort of aired it out last year. I don't think they will. But for me, you're okay, well, if they're going to run a lot, that's going to be a lot of Lamar. And so, but again, there is slight concerns. I've seen people have Lamar as high as 3 or 4. I have him at 6 because of those concerns. I think he passes less when he's running more. That's more opportunity for injury. And again, if Bateman doesn't take the next step, you're it's Mark Andrews and then just a bunch of guys at the moment.
I know that you have a history of joking about when you get a new contract, Hainsworthing it.
Yeah, total Hainsworth.
I'm not going to let you Hainsworth it yet here.
Okay.
I'm keeping
Fair.
you for another segment. You
Done.
can Hainsworth it after we're done, because Rodney apparently is Hainsworthing it, not showing up today. Which we had it just under 50-50. I don't know whether I took the over or the under, but we had a feeling. It had a long night. Look, I love Rodney, but he's not here. You are.
Well, listen, I'm the newbie.
That's
I'm the
right.
newbie. Rodney's earned that.
Rodney's been here.
Rodney's
Rodney's got the privilege to sleep, but otherwise just not show up, and that's fine. We're going to take a quick break. We'll have more with the fantasy football GOAT, Matthew Berry, when PFT Live continues right after this.
Hi, I'm Mike Tirico, and thanks for watching. Make sure to hit subscribe for the latest news and highlights from NBC Sports.